Hello everybody. Today we are going to look into the translation of Thirumurugaatrupadai. Thirumurugaatrupadai is one of the 10 idylls or poems in the anthology named Patthupaatu. Pattu means 10 in Tamil, Paattu means song. Patthupaatu is one of the important works in the part of Sangam literature. Thirumurugaatrupadai is written by Nakkeerar, a very famous poet who lived during the 2nd and 4th century of the classical era. Thirumurugaatrupadai has a total of 317 lines. And now we shall look into the explanation for the title Thirumurugaatrupadai. The word Thiru denotes salutation or it represents respect. When we add the word Thiru in front of a god's name, it represents more piety and respect to the Lord himself. Muruga is the younger son of Lord Shiva and goddess Parvati. The elder one, of course, is Lord Ganesha, the elephant-headed. Thirumurugaatrupadai. Atrupadai can be split into two. Aru and Padai. Aru means pathway and Padai means guide. Thirumurugaatrupadai is a guide to pathway which leads to Lord Muruga himself. The poem, which runs to about 317 lines, gives an exclusive description of different forms of Lord Muruga. The focus is mainly on the Arupadai Veedu or the 6 abodes of Lord Muruga. The 6 temples are Tiruparankundram, Tiruchiralaivai or Tiruchendur, Tiruvavinankudi or Palani, Tiruveragam or Swamimalai, Kundrathoradal or Tiruthani and Palamudircholai. We'll start with the first of the abode, Tiruparankundram. Tiruparankundram is a town about 10 kilometers from the city of Madurai, which is in Tamil Nadu. This is the place where Lord Muruga is said to have married his first wife, goddess Deivanai. We'll start with the Tamil verse, followed by the English translation and then the explanation. The Lord's entry. Ulaham uwappa valanerpu Tiruparapugal Nyayiru kadarkanda ango vara imekunchen vilanga Viralau urunar thangiya madanudaya Notrat serunar teitha sellural tadakai. Like the world which basks in the warmth of the glowing sun that goes around, over the ripples of the deep blue sea, rides on his lustrous blue fowl, he who sports iron fists and thunderous feet, those mar and crush the vain and the evil. Let us get in the explanation of these lines. Ulaham uwappa valanerpu tiritharu. The poet compares the appearance of Lord Muruga to that of the sun. Nyayiru is a term in Tamil which denotes the sun. Lord Muruga looks like the sun when he rides atop his peacock. And when he rides his peacock, it looks as if the bright golden sun himself is riding on the blue waves of the wide ocean. He further describes his fists and feet that are so powerful and have defeated several asuras. The evil have been completely vanquished from the world because of Lord Muruga. The next is the description of the Lord himself. Maruvil Karpin Vanudal Kanavan, Karkon Muhanda Kamanjun Mamare, Valpol Visumbin Vallurai Sidari, Talaipayal Talaiya Tannurangana, Tirulpada Poduliya Para Arai Marat. Oh, the divine consort of the virtuous Deivanai, wet by the dark clouds saturated with all the waters of the world, split with the strike of a slighting sword, the impenetrably dense of the densest of forests, which have broader than the broadest of trunks seen. Here we get an explanation about goddess Deivanai. The poet mentions her, saying, she who is the daughter of Lord Indira. He then explains about the flowers that adorn Lord Muruga's broad chest. He says that the flowers are from exotic trees. These trees are found in the darkest and densest of forests, untouched. They have been receiving rains from the heavens above, and they have drenched the trees completely, that their foliage is very dense and green. We shall now move to the next heavenly maidens welcoming Lord Muruga. Looking at Lord traveling on his peacock, the maidens up above in the heaven are welcoming him. Thurulpoon Tandar Puralum Marbinan Malvari Nivarந்த சேணுயர் வேற்பிற் கிங்கிணி கவையாய் ஒஞ்சேய் சீரடி கணிக்கால் வாங்கிய நசுப்பிற் பனைத்தொட் கோபத்தன்ன தோயா பூந்துகிர் பல்காசு நிறைந்த சில்காள் அல்குர் கைப்புனை தியற்கா கவின்பெரு வனப்பின் நாவலோடு பெயரிய புலம்புனை அவிரிளை சேணிக்கந்து விளங்குஞ் செய்தீர் மேனித்துணையோராய்ந்த இணையீரோது. Those bear such exotic bloom to adorn his broad chests. She, with those long and sturdy bamboo legs, and tender feet adorned with clink-clink anklets, slender hips that hold her sturdy shoulders, those ruby red lips not shaded by any heavenly blusher, floral garment patterned with rich silk that no human hands can replicate, with inimitable nature God sewn throughout, embellishments that are enhanced by her divine body that shines in all its virtuosity and purity. Here we get an explanation or a detailed description of Goddess Deivanai, her beautiful body. As the Lord comes around the world, he is hailed by the flowers, by the maidens in the heaven. Leading up front, that is standing in front of all of them, is Goddess Deivanai. The poet describes her, that is Deivanai, and the maidens along with her, their physical beauty, her choice of ornaments, the dress that they own, hairstyle, and character. He calls Deivanai the most chaste and virtuous of all women he has met. செங்கால் வெட்சி சீரிதழ் இடையிடுப்பு பைந்தாட்குவளை தூவிதழ் கிள்ளி தெய்வ உத்தியோடு வலம்புரி வயின் வைத்து திலகந்தைய தேங்கமிழ் திருநுதன் மகரப் பகுவாய் தாளமன் நுறுத்த துவர முடித்த துகளறுமுச்சி பெருந்தண் சண்பகன் ஜோ இக்கருத்தன் துளைப்பூ மருதின் உள்ளினர் அட்டிக் கிளைவின் ரெண்டெழுத்து கீழ் நீர் செல்வரும் பிணைப்புறு பிணையல் வளையித் துணைத்தக வண்காது நிறைந்த பிண்டி ஓன் தளிர் நுண்பூன் அகந்திளை பந்திகாள் நடுங்குறிஞ்சிய பூங்கேள் தேய்த்த தேங்கமழ் மருந்தினர் கடுப்பு கோங்கின் குவிமுகில் இளமுலை கொட்டி விரிமலர். The evenly divided jet black locks, still wet but only slightly, sported with scarlet flowers with leaf green stalks, plaited into a bun much like the Valampuri Sangu, the fragrant tilak on the right spot on her forehead, and a piece of jewel to add to its beauty. The huge and tight bun that's equally flawless, justly decked with an equally big marigold, spotted by the blackish spongy glow of a border of lush herbs and leaves. Decorate shamelessly the divine plait that slithers down her flower-adorned bosom, wafting strong aroma of the strongest of sandals, glowing all golden, sprinkled with stronger scents and pastes, glorifying those buds made of golden blooms. Here, the poet gives us a very detailed description about the physical beauty of Goddess Deivanai. The poet goes into detail about Deivanai's hairstyle. He says that she has jet black hair, which is put up in a high bun, shaped like the Valampuri Sangu. Valampuri Sangu is a rare divine conch found in the deep sea. Her hair is still wet, but is decorated with bright red flowers with young green stalks. Her hair is parted in half, and at the junction she sports vermilion tilak, which shines like a piece of jewel on her forehead. Her hair is also decorated with a big marigold flower, and a few herbs and leaves that border along her long plait. Her bosom is smeared with fragrant pastes and powders derived from flowers. The kind of smearing makes her breasts look like a beautiful flower. The next part is about hailing his victory. வேங்கை நுண்டா தப்பி காண்பர் வெள்ளிற் குறுமுறி கிள்ளுப்பு தெரியார் கோழி ஓங்கிய வென்றடு விற்கொடி வாழிய பெரிதென் ரெத்தி பலருடன் சீர்திகள் சிலம்பங் கஞ்சிலம்பம் பாடி. She and her mates, they all sing his praise that echoes around vales and hills, hailing the victorious rooster flag that carries his glory further and farther, a ballad so divine and fine. Here, the poet explains how Deivanai and her friends hail glory to the Lord. They strew flowers on the Lord. They are so jubilant because of the victory of Lord over Asura Surapadman. Their praises and song echo through the hills and valley, and they sing a very jubilant, delightful ballad. In the next segment, we get a detailed description of the garland that is worn around the Lord's neck. Surar Mahalir Adunjolai, Mandiyum Ariya Maran Bayil Adukat, சுரும்பம் முசாத் சுடர் பூங்காந்தட் பெருந்தன் கண்ணி விளைந்த சென்னியன். Garden in the heavens that hold them all, nor monkeys know the secrets hidden. Neither have bees burst on them lush and fairy, flowers born to garland round his majestic neck. Here the poet says that the lovely maiden's abode, which is the place of living, is a lush mountain forest with many secrets. The poet says that no animal or even a bee knows about this place. The flowers, the trees, the plants over there are untouched by any humans or animals. It is just fit for the divine neck of the Lord himself. And that is where the flowers come from and adorn his neck as a beautiful garland. பார்முதிர் பனிக்கடல் கலங்கவுள் புகு சூர்முதல் தடிந்த சுடரிலை நெடுவேல் உலரிய கதுப்பிற் பிறழ்பற் பேழ்வாய் சுழல் விழி பசுங்கட் சூர்த்த நோக்கிற் களல் கட்கூகையோடு கடும் பாம்பு தூங்க பெருமுலை அலைக்கும் காதிற்பிணர் முட்டரு கெழு செலவின் அஞ்சுவரு பேய்மகள் கருதி ஆடிய கூறுகிற் கொடுவிரர் கண் தொட்டுண்ட களிமுடை கருந்தலை ஒண்டோடி தடக்கையின் ஏந்தி வெறுவர வென்றடு விரட்களம் பாடி தோள் பெயரா இனந்தின் வாயல் துணங்கை தூங்க இருபே குருவின் ஒரு பேரி யாக்கை அறுவேறு வகையின் அஞ்சுவர மண்டி அவுணர் நல்வலம் அடங்கு கவிழினர் மாமுதல் தடிந்த மறுவில் கொற்ற. He who is feared by the asuras of the underworld, when the holy spear slew their Surapadman, the she-devil so gruesome and ghastly with cruel eyes watching like the night owls carrying poisonous snakes, skin like the gory crocodiles amidst the floating decayed corpses. She that even devils fear, the daughter of the devil himself, with jagged nails dripping with blood, matted, unkempt, sunburnt hair that shields her eyes, dances with joy, holding slain heads, rejoicing his mighty victory, his name on her chafed lips. As she dances the Tunangai Kothu, screaming like the battle conch, defeating them down till death. Them and he who possessed the body of a beast and their devilishly imposing chief. Tunangai Kothu is an ancient art form where people hold their arms, dress themselves up, and sing and dance, hailing gods or their victories. Here we get the picture of a woman dancing on the battlefield. This battlefield is where Lord Muruga defeated the Asura Surapadman. The poet recalls our attention to the fierce battle between Lord Muruga and Surapadman. He describes the ghastly sight of thousands of men lying dead on the battlefield. Here, not waiting for any chance, a devilish woman performs Thunangai Kothu in the very battlefield. He describes her as one who looks like a she-devil. She has bulging owl-like eyes, dry and unkempt hair, extremely dirty to look at, and a stench that competes against the decaying corpses that are lying around. She has a very rough skin like that of a crocodile, and she carries poisonous snakes which she donns around her neck like a garland. Her sharp and jagged nails are seen dripping with blood. And instead of joining hands, which is the usual form of the dance of Thunangai Kothu, she holds the heads of dead soldiers who are lying in the battlefield. She dances with the Asura heads with joy. She shouts the Lord's name and hails his victory. Her screams sound like battle siren and frighten every mortal who is remaining on the battlefield. Thus, the great Asura king Surapadman is defeated, and he who had the body of a human being but the soul of a beast is completely slain by Lord Muruga. Here we have to understand that Surapadman, on the verge of his death, sought the mercy of the Lord, who granted him his final wish. What was the wish? Well, Surapadman wanted to become the vehicle of Lord Muruga, and he was granted to become a peacock, and thus Lord Muruga is seen with his peacock around all the time. The next stanza is about how Surapadman was defeated. Theyya nallisai sevver seei சேவடி படுருஞ் செம்மல் உள்ளமுடு நலம்புரி கொள்கை புலம்புரி துறையும் செலவுனி நயந்தனை யாயிற் பலவுடன் நன்னர் நெஞ்சத் தின்னசை வாய்ப்ப இன்னே பெருதுநீ முன்னிய வினையே செருப்புகண் ரெட்டு சேனையர் நெடுங்கொடி வரிப்புனை பந்தொடு பாவை தூங்க பொருணர் தேய்த்த பொருரரு வாயில் திருவீற்றிருந்த தீதுதிர் நியமத்து மாடமலி மருகிற் கூடற்குடவையின் இருஞ்சேர் ரகல்வயல் பிருந்துவாய் அவிழ்ந்த முட்டாள் தாமரை துஞ்சி வைகரை கட்கமள் நெய்தல் ஊதி ஏற்பட கண்போல் மலர்ந்த காமர் சுனைமலர் அஞ்சிறை வண்டின் அரிக்கணம் ஒலிக்கும் குன்றமர்ந்த துரைதலும் உரியதன் அதா அன்று. The holy spear which struck him, blasting his head into smithereens, bringing an undeniable victory to him. To those feet one shall surrender, with a heart so pure and mind so clear. That will bring all wishes true, and goodwill too. Tall and flutters the victory flag, foes all vanquished, thirst all quenched. Now natives strut with joy like bees on bloom sans fear. Through the never slumbering city, he climbed atop the hill to claim his own, with love and pride aglow for his people. Surapadman is defeated. The Lord is hailed for the victory. People rejoice the victory of Lord over the Asura, and the entire city is wide awake. Surapadman is struck with Lord Muruga's spear. People rejoice and lovingly surrender themselves to his feet. The poet says that a devotee who is true in his devotion to the Lord, who has a clear mind and pure thoughts, will surely fulfill all his desires. Now that the Asura king is defeated, people roam about the Tunga Naharam, which means a city that never sleeps. The term Tunga Naharam denotes the city of Madurai, which is in Tamil Nadu. He compares the crowd of people to the bees swarming around flowers in a big garden. Seeing his people rejoice, the Lord decides to rest on top of the hill, which is Tiruparankundram, and this becomes the first of the Arupadai Veedu, or the 6 abodes. We are going to look into the second of Arupadai Veedu, which is Tiruchiralaivai or Tiruchendur. Tiruchendur is a shore town in the district of Thoothukudi, which is in deep south of Tamil Nadu. This is the place of battle which took place between Lord Muruga and Surapadman. Vainudi Poruda Vaduvál Varinudal Vada Malai ஓடையோடு துயல் வர படுமணி இரட்டு மருங்கிற் கடுநடை கூற்றத்தன்ன மாற்றரு மொய்ப்பிற் கால் கிளர்ந்தன்ன வேளம் மேல் கொண். The broad forehead that bears deep goat scars, ever fresh flowers and dingle dangles, coupled with tinkling bells on either side, paced walk to compete the speeding death. The strongest of mammoths, he rides with pride. What are we talking about over here? Well, this is the description of the elephant on which Lord Muruga rides. In these lines, he describes the majestic form of Lord Muruga and how he rides on his elephant. The Lord is seen on the strong elephant, and he is passing through the streets of Tiruchiralaivai or Tiruchendur. The elephant is so huge and robust. It walks so fast, competing against the speed of death himself. Its huge frame is decorated with flowers, several garlands, shiny bells on either sides, and several scars caused by its goad. The scars are from the battle which took place between Surapadman and Lord Muruga. Here, goad refers to a short, sharp weapon which is used to control elephants. வேறுருவி செய்வினை முற்றிய முடியோடு விளங்கிய முரண்மிகு திருமணி மின்னுருள் இமைப்பிற் சென்னிப் பொற்ப நகைத்தாழ்ப்பு துயல்வரு வகையமை பொலங்குளை சேன்விளங் இயற்கை வான்மதி கவைய அகலா மீனின் அவிர்வன இழப்பை தாவில் கொள்கை தந்தொழில் முடிமார் மன்னோர் பெழுதரு வானிர் முகனே. Crafted with high skill and undeniable precision, his coronet dazzling with 5 gemstones, like 5-pointed lightning so bright, 12-crested golden earrings dangling along, like the ones surrounding the moon, the twinkling stars that never leave, rises in the heart of millions that yearn for eternal divinity, he with his 6 faces. Here, Lord Muruga's crown is described as a very bright jewel. It is crested with 5 different types of gemstones, and they look like 5-pointed lightning bolt. His earrings are dangler types. They shine like the twinkling stars that are always seen around the moon. The Lord's face is compared to the moon, which shines always, showering blessings over his pure devotees. We are going to look at the description of Lord Muruga's 6 faces, 12 arms, and his glorious victory over Surapadman. மாயிருள் ஞாலம் மறுவின்றி விளங்க பல்கதிர் விரிந்தன் ஒரு முகம் ஆர்வலர் ஏத்த அமர்த்தினி தொழ்கிக் காதலின் உவந்த வரங்கொடுத்தன்றே ஒரு முக மந்திர விதியின் மரபொழிவளா அந்தனர் வேள்வியோர்க்குமே ஒரு முகம் எஞ்சிய பொருட்களை ஏமுற நாடி திங்கள் போல் திசை விளக்குமே ஒரு முகம் செருநர் தேய்த்து செல் சமம் முறுக்கி கருகொள் நெஞ்சமுடு களம் வெட்டன்றே ஒரு முகம் குறவர் மடமகள் கொடிபோல் நசுப்பின் மடவரல் வள்ளியோடு நகையமர்ந்தன்றே ஆங்கம். The first of visage so bright that brushes dusk, of the terrain spreading its untainted vivid rays, to bask in the unflinching love of his devotees, his second face. Them that chant so flawlessly, their penance protected by his third, pleasurable for his four, mere delight like the crescent hard to comprehend. The 5th is the raging one with sense terror in the hearts of the evil, and the 6th, reserved for the sweet yet strong head of the tribe, flower-like dame with slender hips, Valli. In this set of lines, we get a detailed description about his 6 faces. The Lord's 6 faces are described thus. The first phase is compared to the sun, which spreads its rays and removes darkness from the earth's surface. The second phase receives the enduring love and devotion of the devotees with a smile. The third phase oversees the penance and prayers of the Brahmins and protects them. Like the moon that shines at night and is difficult to understand, the fourth phase shines constantly. The fifth phase is filled with courage and pride that frightens the demons and evil ones. The sixth phase is one with lots of love and passion just for the tribal head, Valli. Valli is the other spouse of Lord Muruga. Muviru Muhanum Murainavin Rolihan Aran Taldu Ambakattu Marpir Sempori Vangiya Moipir Sudar Vidupu. The 6 faces that brim with virtue are borne by the broad garlanded chest, branches out of his proud straight shoulders. In these lines, we get further description of where his 6 heads rest. The body of Lord Muruga is so strong, his broad chest bears his 6 faces and has a garland of ever fresh flowers around his neck. Shoulders are straight and strong. Moving over, we are going to get a description of his 12 arms. Vanpugal நிறைந்து வசிந்து வாங்கு நிமிர்ந்துள்ள விண்செலன் மரபின் அயர் ஏந்திய தொருகை உக்கஞ்சேந்திய தொருகை நலம் பெரு கலிங்கத்து குரங்கின் மிசை அசைய தொருகை அங்குச கடவா ஒருகை இருகை ஐயிரு வட்டமிடு குவலந்திரிப்ப ஒருகை மார்போடு விளங்க ஒருகை தாரொடு பொலிய ஒருகை கீழ்வீழ் தொடியோடு மீமிசை கொட்ப ஒருகை பாடின் படுமணி இரட்ட ஒருகை நீனிரு விசும்பின் மலித்துளி பொழிய ஒருகை வானர மகளிர்க்கு வதுவை சூட்ட வாங்க பன்னிரு கையும் பார்ப்பட இயற்றி. His twice the 6 strong arms, an arm that blesses the celestials, another lay over his casual hip, another over his silk-clad thigh, yet another of his mammoth gourd, a pair that grips a shield and swirls his spear, a hand over his chest, another over the garland he wears. One hand with a thick blazing bracelet, another is to double and sound the bell that sounds sweet. An arm that wets the earth with rains, and yet another to garland those sweet maidens up above, all 12 with jobs assigned. Lord Muruga's 12 arms are described in these lines. One arm blesses all the human beings on earth and the celestial beings up above in the heaven, while another arm is casually placed on his hip. Another arm is laid over his thigh, which is clad in rich silk. His 4th arm holds a gourd to tame his elephant on which he rides. His 5th and 6th arms hold a broad shield and his sacred spear or the veil, respectively. He has an arm over his chest and another over his garland. Yet another arm has a thick bracelet called todi around his wrist. Another arm has a set of bells that jingle when he shakes. His 11th arm swirls up to bring down rains. His 12th arm holds garlands for the beautiful women in the heavens. All the 12 arms have different purposes. The last part of Tiruchiralai is about the celebrations after the defeat of Surapadman. Andarapalliyankarang திண்தாள் வயிறிடன் திசைப்ப வாழ்வளை ஞால உரந்தலை கொண்ட உருமிடி முரசமுடு பல்பொறி மங்கிய வேல்கோடி அகவ விசும்பாராக விரைசெலன் முன்னி உலகம் புகழ்ந்த ஓங்குயர் விழுச்சீர் அலைவாய் சேரலும் நிலைய பண்பே அதோ அன்று. Heavenly snares as they beat, diamond cut horns they blow, blaring those white conches too, the strong beat drum that thunder down, as his peacock rises on top of his victory rooster flag. he rests along the shores so high. The victory of Lord Muruga over Surapadman is celebrated by the commoners and the celestial beings. They beat huge drums, blow long horns and conches, and the peacock, if we recollect, is none other than the Surapadman who was slain by the Lord himself. It stands over the victory flag and cries. The symbol of a rooster is found on the flag, which denotes victory. Since the battle took place in Tiruchendur or Tiruchiralaivai, Lord Muruga decides to rest there and bless his devotees on its shores. We are going to look into the next abode or temple dedicated to Lord Muruga, which is Tiruvavinankudi, also called Palani. We're going to deal with lines 126 onwards. Tiruvavinankudi, also called Palani, is located in the district of Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. It is also referred to as Podini in a few literary works of the Sangam literature. It is one of the earliest and ancient temples of the Arupade Veedu. The first set of stanzas we are going to look at is going to talk about the parade led by great sages. If we recollect, after Lord Muruga defeated Surapadman, the celestial beings, great sages, and gods are heading towards earth to meet the Lord and congratulate him for the great victory. It goes like this. Sீரை தைய உடுக்கையர் சீரோடு வலம்புரி புரையும் வானரை முடியினர் மாசர இமைக்கும் உருவினர் மானின் உரிவை தைய ஊன்கெடு மார்பின் என் பெழுந்தியங்கு மியாக்கையர் நண்பகர் பலவுடன் கழிந்த உண்டியரிகளோடு செற்றம் நீக்கிய மனதின் ரியாவது கற்றோர் அறியா அரவினர் கற்றோர்க்கு தாம்வரம்பாகிய தலைமயர் காமமோடு கடுஞ்சினங்கடிந்த காட்சியர் இடும்பை யாவதுமறியா இயல்பினர் மேவரத் புனியல் காட்சி முனிவர் முற்புக. Revered souls with their bark-wrapped bodies, heads with cloud-like ashen crests, clinging deer shrugs over those frames that highlight the protruding ribs. Them who lead the way ahead, they who forsook foods for several days, sans vengeance, sans wrath, with knowledge so vast unknown to the wise, minds cleared of lust and rage. Them who know no grief nor loath, with no trace of resentment, those minds brimming with wisdom, the great sages lead the way. All the great sages, the celestial beings and gods, form a parade to meet Lord Murugan over his victory after the battle with Surapadman. The Lord is lovingly led in a procession to Tiruvavinankudi or Palani, and to visit him, they all hurry in a parade down to the earth. The first ones who lead the way are the great sages, and these sages have practiced intense penance and prayers for several years. They are seen wearing deer skins and clothes weaved out of tree barks. They all have fluffy white hair and thin bodies with their bones and ribs visible beneath their skin. The sages have taken intense penance that their minds are free of negative qualities like anger, jealousy, lust, sorrow, and bitterness. Their knowledge is described to be broader and deeper than all the learned ones on earth. Yet, they are seen with such humility that they all rush to meet Lord Muruga. புகைமுகன் தன்ன மாசில் தூவுடை முகைவாய் அவிழ்ந்த தகைசூழ் ஆகத்து செவி நேர்ப்பு வைத்த செய்வுறு திவவின் நல்லியாழ் நவின்ற நயனுடை நெஞ்சின் மென்மொழி மேவலர் இன்னரம் புலர நோயின்றியன்ற யாக்கையர் மாவின் அவிர்தளிர் புரையும் மேனியர் அவிர்தோறும் பொன்னுரை கடுக்கன் திதலையர் இன்னகை பருமன் தாங்கிய பணிந்தேந்தல்குல் மாசில் மகளிரொடு மறுவின்றி விளங்க. Purest of the whitest robes they had worn, half-bloomed flowers that made their garlands. Sweetest of harmonies ears could ingest, by the best of harps played by the Gandharvas, who knows none but amiable words, a physic that has not seen any ailments, one that shines like the tender green leaves, spots that glow like one dusted with gold, and fluffy clouds that bounce up and down. The celestials join their damsels into the way led. In these lines, we are given a description about the Gandharvas or the celestial beings who join the parade following the great sages. Both the males and females of the celestial beings follow the great sages. They are described as magnificent looking beings with glowing skin, and they wear pure white clothes. They play their harps, producing sweet sounds. Their coat is so shiny that even their warts seem like specks of gold dust. They ride the fluffy clouds, and along with their counterparts, the Apsaras, they follow the great sages, and they are in a hurry to meet Lord Muruga. We are going to look into a very important part of the same. We are going to have special guests joining the procession. Who are they? Kaduvodongiya Tumbudai Valayir Lalena Uyirkum Anjuvaru Kadundirar பாம்பு படப்புடைக்கும் பல்வரி கொடுஞ்சிறை புள்ளனி நீள்கொடி செல்வனும் வெள்ளெரு. One that's feared for its fiery breath, hidden in its silver tang so sharp, and those vast wings that all the snakes dread, flies the protector into the set. Following the great sages and the Gandharvas, we have Lord Mahavishnu entering the parade on his vehicle Garuda. So next in the grand parade enters Lord Mahavishnu riding on his faithful Garuda, the divine eagle. The form of Garuda is explained in these lines. Garuda looks very majestic. It has a silvery white head with a sharp beak. It can breathe fire on its enemies. Its wings are so vast and powerful, and Garuda is said to be feared by all mortal snakes and even other eagles. Valavayin uyariya palarpugal tinikku tol, umai amarந்து விளங்கும் இமையா முக்கன், மூவையில் முறுக்கிய முரண்மிகு செல்வன். A raised flag with a silver elephant on his right, left shared lovingly his dearest Umai, the three-eyed, the revered mighty one, too. Following Lord Vishnu, we see Lord Shiva joining the parade. He is seen accompanied by a great elephant and his loving wife, Goddess Parvati. நூற்று பத்தடுக்கிய நாட்டத்து நூற்பல வேள்வி முற்றிய வென்றடு கொற்றத் தீரிரன் டேந்திய மறுபின் எழில்நடை தாழ்பெரு தடக்கை உயர்ந்த யானை எருத்தம் ஏறிய திருக்கிளர் செல்வனும். Thousands and 10,000 victories seen. He who succeeded in penance is deep. He struts with a walk so proud of defeated foes on the humble giant white pachyderm. He rides into the arena to join as well. Following Lord Mahavishnu and Lord Shiva, we have a third god entering the parade. He is none other than Lord Indra. Lord Indra is the king of heavens and Devas, and he is associated with lightning, thunderstorms, rains, river flows, and war. He rides into the parade on his big white elephant, which is called Airavatam. Airavat walks gracefully despite his huge size. Indra holds an air of pride for having defeated thousands and thousands of asuras and having done several thousands of penances. But somebody is missing. Who is it? நாற்பெருந்தெய்வத்து நன்னகர் நிலைய உலகங்காக்கும் ஒன்று புரி கொள்கை பலர்புகழ் மூவரும் தலைவராக ஏமரு ஞாலன் தன்னில் தோன்றி தாமரை பயந்த தாவில் உளை நான்முக ஒருவர் சுட்டிக் காண்பர். Three almighty there, but for the four-headed, shielding earth their only conviction. Three with the prospect of headship wait for his presence on mortal earth, to speak for the Creator who perched the lotus. and implored that he be released of his confinement. While the three gods, Lord Mahavishnu, Lord Shiva, and Lord Indra, hurried to meet Lord Muruga, they wanted to greet him over his victory. But Brahma, the four-headed god, the creator, was missing. The story of Lord Muruga questioning Brahma about Om, the Pranava mantra, is the reason behind his absence. The story goes like this. When Lord Muruga was a child, he was sent to learn the Vedas from Lord Brahma. And instead of learning the basics like a child should, the child, that is Lord Muruga, asked Brahma the meaning for the Pranava mantra Om. It is the highest level of knowledge possible. And when Brahma failed to explain the same, Lord Muruga knocked on Brahma's head for not knowing it, ordered his guards to imprison him immediately. Lord Muruga explains the same to his father, Lord Shiva, and thus becomes Thagappan Swami, or the Lord to his father. While the three gods speed ahead to meet Lord Muruga, their primary reason behind their hurry is to request him to release Brahma. Without the creator, the entire process of creation has come to a stop. Pahalir tondrum igalil kaatchi, nalveriyarikkai 11 மூவரோ, ஒன்பதிர் இரட்டி உயர்நிலை பெரியர், மீன்பூத்தன்ன தோன்றலர் மீன் சேர்ப்பு, வழிகிளர்ந்த தன்ன செலவின் வழியிடை, தீயெழுந்தன்ன திரளினர் தீப்பட, உருமிடி தன்ன குரலினர் விழுமிய, உருகுரை மருங்கிற்றம் பெருமுறை கொண்மார், அந்தர கொட்பினர் வந்துடன் காண, தாவில் கொள்கை மடந்தையோட சின்னாள், ஆவினன்குடி அசைதலும் உரியதன் அதான்று. The contrast of daylight seen so vivid, 4 of a kind, all the 33, bestowed with 18 highest of heights, seem like massive galaxies of brightest of stars. Moving faster than the fastest winds, valor like the fireborn of the wind, tenor like the loudest thunder, them who know out of their frailty, who know their way to reach him, together to get a glimpse of him with his virtuous she. Tiruvavinankudi, the place that he chose to rest. The entire parade shines so brightly because of the presence of 10 forms of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, the 8 Vasus or the 8 elemental gods. They are water, earth, sky, fire, space, sun, moon, and the stars. The Ashwini twins are also there. The 4 kinds of 33 devas or celestial beings, and the 18 great sages who obtain the highest level of godliness are also there. They look like the brightest of all stars gathered in one place, and they all look like a galaxy of stars on earth. They all chant to hail the victory of Lord Muruga, and their voices in unison sound louder than the loudest of the thunders. Their only notion is to meet the victorious Lord, accompanied by Deivanai. They rest in Tiruvavinankudi or the foothills of Palani. We are moving over to the next part of the poem, next abode, which is Thiruvaraham or Swamimalai. Swamimalai is a small town on the banks of river Kaveri near Kumbakonam, Tamil Nadu. This is one of the 6 abodes of Lord Muruga. According to Hindu mythology, it is here that as a child, Lord Muruga explained the meaning of the Pranava mantra Om to his father, Lord Shiva. And hence, the deity here is called Swaminathan or Thagappan Swami, God of the Father. இருமூன்றெய்திய இயல்பினன் வழா திருவர் சுட்டிய பல்வேறு தொல்குடி அருணான்கிரட்டி இளமை நல்லியான் ஆன்றறிய கழிப்பிய அரவினில் கொள்கை 3 வகை குறித்த முத்தி செல்வத் திருப்பிறப்பாளர் பொழுதறிந்து நுவல 9 கொண்ட 3 புரி நுண்யான் புலரா காழகம் புலர உடிஇ உச்சிக்கூப்பிய கையினர் தற்புகழ்ந்து ஆறெழுத்தடுக்கிய அருமுறை கேள்வி நாவியன் மருங்கின் நவிலப்பாடி விரையுறு நறுமலர் ஏந்திப் பெருதுவன் தேரகத் துறைதலும் உரியன் அதா அன்று. Duties 6 never compromised, ancestral that praised both likewise. Twice the young decades spent self-righteously, holding the core of conviction. With wealthy knowledge of the tribe lays, them who predict the precise time. Those with the 3 dry springs, half-wet clothes that dry when they clad, hands above their heads that pray him, chanting his 6-lettered name. The tongue that's so used to it, fragrant flowers brought fresh and strewn, made him stay with glee on the hills of Eragam. The lines from 177 to 189 describe the Brahmins who have gathered in the procession to meet Lord Muruga. They are humble and pious people with their parentage so rich and ancient. They've all gathered in the town of Swamimalai. They worship Lord Shiva and Vishnu, and they passionately perform the 6 duties that have been assigned to their clan. The duties are to study the Vedas and scriptures, transfer the knowledge to the next generation, pray and perform pujas regularly, carry out penances, accept alms, and sacrifice worldly pleasures. They spend their prime youth following strict brahmacharyam or without getting into worldly pleasures of or familial responsibilities. Then they carry out domestic duties until the age of 48. They hold a strong belief in God and religious practices. They have an in-depth knowledge of the 3 types of flames of a yajna or holy fire created in a small pit, which is done to please the gods. The 3 types of fire are Agavaniyam, or the flame that is produced by the blazing sun, Karupattiyam, a flame that is produced while cooking or while doing domestic chores, and Takkiniyagni, flame produced by lightning. The Brahmins are well versed in predictions and astrology also. They hold their punul or the holy string, the 3 strings with a set of 3 strings twirled in each. Hence they are also known as twice born. They wear clothes with muddy or the act of wearing half-wet clothes that are clad only after a bath. They raise their hands above their heads and pray sincerely to the Lord to catch a glimpse of him after his victory over Surapadma. Saravana Bhava is called Shadaksharam or 6-lettered mantra, where Saravana is another name of Lord Muruga. The Brahmins gathered in the procession have chanted his name throughout their religious lives, and it has become an act of spontaneity. They hail his victory by strewing flowers over the Lord. Their heart is so pure with devotion and love that moves Lord Muruga so much that he decides to rest abode in Swamimalai or Tiruvaraham, which is actually a hill of acceptance. Tiruthani is a town in the district of Tiruvallur, Tamil Nadu. After the fierce battle with Surapadman, Lord Muruga's furies did not subside. To cool his anger down, it is said that he meditated on the hills of Tiruthani. It is also here that Lord Muruga married Valli, the head of a mountain tribe. Tiruthani is known for another notable difference. All temples dedicated to Lord Muruga have the idol of a peacock before the sanctum sanctorum. The temple in Tiruthani is quite different because it has an elephant, and the elephant faces away from the sanctum sanctorum, that is, it faces the east. The story behind this difference goes like this. When Lord Muruga married Deivanai, Lord Indra, who is her father, gifted Lord Muruga with his white elephant Airavat. But after parting with it, Lord Indra felt terrible losses. When Lord Muruga offered to return his elephant, Indra refused out of compassion. Instead, he requested that the elephant be placed facing east, the direction in which he resided. Thus, only in this abode, there is an elephant in front of the sanctum sanctorum. Paingudi narikai idayiduppu velan, ambodi buttil virayik kulaviyodu, வெண்கூத்தாளன் தொடுத்த கண்ணியன் நறுஞ்சாந்து தனிந்த கேழ்கிளர் மார்பிற் கொடுந்தொழில் வல்விற் கொலைய கானவர் நீடமை விளைந்த தேக்கட்டேர. Velan danced adorn his head crest, sewn with verdity, leaves and white blooms in a mesh over his sandal pastel broad chest, to keep those feral hunters amused as they sip nectar from long bamboo flowers. In these lines, we are given a description of a variety of kuthu. Kuthu is a kind of dance which the artist performs along with a song. A young man resembling Lord Muruga, actually the Lord himself disguised as a commoner, is found amidst the hill tribe. He calls himself Velan and dances to entertain the people of the tribe. Velan wears fresh green leaves and flowers as his clothing. He has a headdress also. He has a very fair complexion. His chest is broad and is smeared with fragrant sandalwood paste. As he dances, the fierce hunters of the tribe forget their hardships and rejoice with him. They drink preserved nectar, something similar to a toddy but which is sweet, and they use long flasks made of bamboo for this purpose. குன்றக சிறுகுடி கிளையுடன் மகிழ்ந்து தொண்டக சிறுபறை குரவை அயர விருளற்ப பவிழ்ந்த வேறுபடு நறுங்கார் குண்டு சுனை பூத்த வண்டுபடு கண்ணி இணைத்த கோதை அணைத்த கூந்தல் முடித்த குல்லை இலையுடைய நெரும்பும் செங்கால் மரா அத்தவாலினர் இடையிடுப்பு சுரும்புணத் தொடுத்த பெருந்தன் மாத்தளை திருந்து கால் அல்குல் திளைப்ப உடி மயில் கண்ட மடமடை மகிழரொடு. Rejoicing with the clan on hill, beating those small handy drums, he danced, with hands joined with their women there, who wore attire out of freshest of flowers. And they dance along long decorated tresses, those loose plaits intertwined with flowers and leaves, same sewn to tightly spun, with mango leaves and untamed blossoms, for them to sport on those slender hips, like a peacock's dance with bees buzzing around. Velan dances the Kuravai Kuthu. It is an ancient form of group dance where the dancers entwine with each other, changing partners at regular intervals. Velan dances with the women folks there. He has a small drum in his hand which he beats as he dances. The tribal women have all worn dresses made of fresh flowers. They have casually left their hair loose and their locks rhythmically sway along. They have laid fresh flowers and leaves between their long plaits as well. Using wild flowers, they have made a piece of decorative cloth that hides their slender hips. As they dance, bees buzz around them to taste the nectar from the fresh flowers on the beautiful women. What else does Velan do? செய்யன் சிவந்த ஆடையின் செல்வரை செயலை தன்தளிர் துயில்வருங்காதினன் கச்சினன் களனினன் செச்சை கண்ணியன் குழலன் கோட்டனன் குறும்பல்லியத்தன் தகரன் மஞ்சையன் புகரில் சேவலங் கொடியன் நெடியன் தொடியனி தோழன் நரம்பார்த்த தன்ன இன்குரல் தொகுதியோடு குறும்பொறி கொண்ட நருந்தன் சாயல் மருங்கிற் நிலநேர்ப்பு புதுகிலின் முழவரு தடக்கையில் இயல ஏந்தி மென்றோட் பல்பினை தளீர் தலை தந்து குன்றுதோராடலும் நின்றதன் பண்பே அதோ அன்று. Scarlet red garb over an equally reddish body, with ears actively swinging to the moves, tightly clad loin, trinket-worn ankles, drums and horns bearing shoulders, sings on he who rides sheep and peacocks, arms from which armlets dangle, voice sounding so sweet like a harp, skin tattooed with spots collage, swishing loin cloth as he jumps. Strut to match the clapping beats, he dances with damsels fine on the hill where he found his sheep. Valen has a red shrug over his shoulder. His body is already reddish because of his complexion and his vigorous dance moves. His ears dangle like tender leaves on tall trees. He has worn his loincloth in such a way that the lengthy part of it is left hanging to swish around when he dances. He has anklets and bracelets with tiny bells that ring to his steps. His shoulders bear the weight of a lot of instruments like small drums and horns which he blows in between his song. He entertains the tribe by riding their sheep and peacocks, and he resembles the Lord God Muruga himself. His voice sounds so divine, like the most melodious instruments in heaven. He has spots tattooed over his face and arms, which is also a part of the tribal tradition. He claps his hands as he sings, and that adds to the beat. It is on such a hill that Lord Muruga found his other beloved, Valli. Valli was the daughter of the head of a mountain tribe. Lord Muruga sought the help of his elder brother Lord Ganesha to woo Valli. And so Lord Ganesha took the form of an elephant to scare her. And pretending to save her, Lord Muruga won the goodwill of Goddess Valli. Thus both fell in love and got married in the hills of Tiruthani. Next, we are going to move over to the last of the abode, Palamudircholai. Palamudircholai is a fertile hill located near the city of Madurai. The hill is covered with dense forest and numerous fruit-bearing trees, herbs, vegetables, and natural springs. It is the last of the 6 abodes of Lord Muruga, and the hill carries the legendary story of Lord Muruga's encounter with the great Tamil poet and saint Avvaiyar. What is the story? The story goes like this. Once, while Avvaiyar was travelling by the foot of the hills, Palamudircholai, he became very tired and decided to rest under a jamun tree. Jamun is a small fruit which is dark purple in color and it resembles blackcurrant. There, a little goat herd asked her if she wanted some fruits from the tree. When she replied that she wanted some, the boy asked her if she wanted hot roasted fruits or unroasted ones. Amused by the strange options, Avvaiyar told the boy that she would like to have the unroasted ones. The boy shook the tree and several fruits fell. Avvaiyar began to blow the fruits to remove the mud that had covered them. And at this, the boy wittingly asked if the fruits were hot roasted ones. Astonished and shaken, Avvaiyar pleaded with the boy to tell her who he really was. The boy turned out to be Lord Muruga himself. He was simply testing and playing pranks on the old woman whom he loved a lot. We shall move over to the poem. Siruthunai malarodu virayi mari aruthu varana kodiodu vayirpada niri ஊரூர் கொண்ட சீர்கழு விழவின் ஆர்வலர் ஏத்த மேவரு நிலையினும் வேலன் தையிய வெறியர் களனும் காடும் காவும் கவின்பெரு துருத்தியும் யாரும் குளனும் வேறுபல் வைப்பும் சதுக்க முஞ்சந்தியும் புதுப்பூங்கடம்பமும் மன்றமும் பொதியிலும் கந்துடை நிலையினும். Millets and flowers and goats sacrificed, rooster flag held up high. He lives at such places with special devotion, in the hearts with steadfast love, with he who dances like him with fervor, in fields and woods and oases, along rivers and ponds and in riverbeds, around street corners in the newly bloomed flowers, under the town's tree and village square, in the worship stone. According to the poet Nakkeerar, there are several places where Lord Muruga lovingly lives. He lives in places where people show devotion by sacrificing goats, placing cooked millets and flowers, and holding his rooster-crested flag high. He resides in the hearts of devotees, and they dress up like him and dance out of love for him. He also lives in farmlands, forests, deserts with oases, and along river banks where his true devotees live. He is very much present in the corners of the streets, and they have small shrines for him as well. And in the center of villages and under trees where people place stones and worship it as Lord Muruga. There are more practices that Nakkeerar talks about. Mandalai kodiyyodu manniyamai vara neyyodaiyyavi appi aiduraithu kudandam pattu kolumalar sidari murankolluruvin irandudan udayit செந்நூல் யாத்து வெண்புரி சிதறி மதவலி நிலையிய மாத்தாட்கொழுவிடை குருதியோடு விரைய தூவெள் அரிசி சில்பலி செய்து பல்பிற பிச்சு பசுமஞ்சளோடு நறுவிரை தெளித்து. Matching their tribal flag attire soon, white mustard ground fine with ghee. With his chants murmured instinctively, flowers spread contrasting rags across the chest. Sacred thread on wrist, pallid puffy rice strewn, fat and sturdy brawny ram bled over a bowl of rice. Along laid were more small sacrifices, drenched in fresh turmeric and musky scents too. Some tribes have special practices. It's a way of expressing their devotion to Lord. To invoke the blessings, this particular tribe have a peculiar habit. They select a young girl, they dress her up as young Lord Muruga, and they match it with the rooster flag. A fine paste made out of white mustard and ghee is applied all over her, and they also tie a sacred thread around her wrist. It is called a kapu, which literally means protection. She is considered to be the form of young Lord Muruga and is prayed to. People spread rice and millets in front of her and they sacrifice goats. They herd these goats especially for such occasions. After the prayers, the girl is given a bath fresh turmeric water. They mix other sweet smelling powders and pastes as well. பெருந்தன் கணவீர நருந்தன் மாலை துணையுற அறுத்து தூங்க நாற்றி நளிமலை சிலம்பின் நன்னகர் வாழ்த்தி நறும்புகை எடுத்து குறிஞ்சி பாடி இமிழிசை அருவியோடினியங்கு கரங்க உருவப்பல் பூத்துய் வெகுருவ குருதி செந்தினை பரப்பி குரமகள் முருகிய நிறுத்து முரணினர் உட்க முருகாற்றுப்படுத்த உருகொழு வியநகர். Colossal cool Nerium festooned amid, equally cut sweet-scented garlands dangling along. Those on hills and valleys bless it as they sing the melody of the incense-smoky hills. Crashing cascade harmonizing with the beats, tons of colorful florets showered. Chilling crimson dripping millet she spread, godly frenzy trapped in her, reverence spread in hearts with Muruga. The chosen girl is given garlands of red Nerium flowers, also called arali in Tamil, and other fragrant flowers. People light strong smelling incense and fill the air with smoke that blends along with the fog or the mist that prevails. When they sing, the flowing waterfalls on the hills sound in harmony with their sweet voices. They mix rice and millets with the blood of sacrificed goats and they spread it in front of the girl. By then, the girl, who is caught in a godly frenzy, she starts dancing to the drum beats. Thus people show their love and devotion to the Lord. ஆடுகளஞ் சிலம்பம் பாடி பலவுடன் கோடுவாய் வைத்து கொடுமணி இயக்கி ஓடா பூட்கை பிணிமுகம் வாழ்த்தி வேண்டுனர் வேண்டியாங்கெய்தினர் வழிபட ஆண்டாண்டுரைத்தலும் அறிந்தவாறே. Tremored passion echoing through vales and dales, blowing horns and rattling bells, hailing the holy mammoth he rode, those that attain what sought, there withal he resides. The beats of the drums echo through the hills. People blow horns, they ring bells, and they sing in praise of Lord, and also they praise the elephant on which he rides. The Lord lives in their devoted hearts, the poet says. and fulfills all their wishes as per their prayers. ஆண்டாண்டாயினும் ஆக காண்டக முந்துநீ கண்டுளி முகனமர்ந்தேத்தி கைதொழு உப்பரவி காலுற வணங்கி நெடும்பெரு சிமையத்து நீலப்பை பஞ்சுனை ஐவருளொருவன் அங்கை ஏற்ப அருவர் பயந்த ஆருமர் செல்வ ஆள்கெழு கடவுட் புதல்வ மால்வரை மலைமகள் மகனே மாற்றோர் கூற்றே வெற்றிவேல் போர் கொற்றவை சிறுவ இளையணி சிறப்பள் பழையோள் குளவி வானோர் வணங்குவில் தானை தலைவ மாலை மார்ப நூலரி புலவ செருவில் ஒருவ பொருவிரல் மள்ள அந்தணர் வெறுக்கை அறிந்தோர் சொல்மலை மங்கையர் கணவ மைந்தர் ஏரே. There and here and Movinu, placing oneself visible to him, praying with those palms brought together, Lord who resides on the Himalayan crest, born out of fire, one of our elements five, brought up by the 6 holy dames, son of the Lord who rests beneath the stony banyan, and the queen of tallest peaks of Himadri, victorious spear-handed, son of Kotravai, child of nature god and forests, Lord of lords, leader of forces, garlanded chest, wisest of wise, parallel warrior, idol of the unmatched heroes, darling of the nobles, scholars' inventory, consort of divine she's. Such tales tells us about the places in which Lord Muruga lives. Nakkeerar tells us that one should simply present in front of the Lord with pure devotion and love. The mere presence of a devoted soul would please the Lord to a great extent. Lord Muruga is praised with several specialities. He is the Lord who lives on top of Mount Himalayas. He was born out of the 6 flames emitted from Lord Shiva's third eye. Born as 6, Lord Muruga was raised by 6 Kartigai damsels who are actually stars but took the form of women to nurse the 6 baby forms of the Lord. His parents are Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. The goddess also took form of the war goddess Kotravai, who is also called Neeli or Mari or Suli. He is also called the warrior son of war goddess. His bravery got him the golden spear or the veil from his mother. Since he lives amidst tribes on hills and in forests, he is also called nature's child. Every deva or the heavenly god treats him with immense respect, while every asura or the demon fears him terribly. Lord Muruga wears a grand garland around his neck and walks as the bravest of warriors. His courage and war skills are unmatched. Lord Muruga is called the Tamil god because of the unparalleled wisdom and knowledge in the language. Thus, he is called the poet of poets, the scholar of scholars, and is the loving husband of goddesses Valli and Deivanai. வேல்கெழு தடக்கை சால் பெருஞ்செல்வ குன்றங்கொன்ற குன்றா குன்றத்து, lion of the occult, valiantly armed, relentless victory, splitting up Kraunjamalai. He is the defeater of all dark magicians. The veil he holds in his arms tells tales about how he split the Kraunjamalai. The story is about how Lord Muruga defeated the Asura Kraunjan. The story goes like this. Once, the great sage Agathir was passing through a place called Mayamapuram. It was under the control of the Asura Kraunjan, and he was highly skilled in dark magic and often played deadly pranks on all the sages who used to pass by. Seeing Agathir, he created a hillock. It had a passage beneath it, but it was filled with maize in such a way that the sage was not able to get out of the hill. The sage unknowingly walked through and got caught inside. When he realized it was the trick of Kraunjan, he immediately cursed the Asura, stating he would soon meet his end in the hands of Lord Muruga. Having said so, the sage created a big hole or a tunnel in the hill and blasted into smithereens. Thus, having escaped, Kraunjan continued with his pranks for a very long time. Soon, Lord Muruga ordered his trusted deputy Veerabahu and his troop to teach him a lesson. Unfortunately, Veerabahu and his soldiers all fainted after getting trapped under Kraunjan's ill magic. Out of fury, Lord Muruga threw his holy spear on the hillock. The whale burst the hillock into pieces and eventually killed Kraunjan. விண்பொரு நெடுவரை குறிஞ்சி கிழவ பலர்புகழ் நன்மொழி புலவர் ஏரே அரும்பெறன் மரபிற் பெரும்பெயர் முருகா நசையினர் காத்தும் இசையவர். Chief of the tallest of peaks in Kurunji, the leader of poets who praise him much, rarest of the best thou Lord Muruga, he who grants all that one praise. He is the lord of the tall peaks in Kurunji. Kurunji is the hilly region of the 5 types of lands which is mentioned in Tamil literature. He leads all those poets who sing in praise of him and thus becomes the best guardian to all scholars. He is also one of the most loving gods and he grants all the wishes of all his beloved devotees. Alandur Kalikkum Polambut Seyei Mandamar கடந்தனின் வென்றாடக் கலத்து பரிசிலர் தாங்கும் உருகெழு நெடுவே எழ்பெரியோர் ஏத்தும் பெரும்பெயர் இயவுள் சூர்மருங்கருத்த மொய்ப்பின் மதவலி போர்மிகு பொருண குறிசில் எனப்பல யானறி அளவையின் ஏத்தி ஆனது நின்னளந் தரிதல் மண்ணுயிர் கருமையின் நின்னடி உள்ளி வந்தனன் நின்னொடு புரையுனர் இல்லா புலமையோயென. Golden vested guardian of the afflicted, indestructible victorious warrior, iron chested, triumphant, beloved shielding devoted ones, he who is revered by elders and gods alike, vanquisher of the Suran, bestowed with immense strength, daring warrior, gifted leader, all that I praise for as my knowledge takes, yet not satiated, wishing for a total indulgence, to make me reach your holy feet that holds wisdom immeasurable. The poet Nakkeerar describes the Lord with his golden shield to protect his devotees. He is looked upon as a hero by all since he has defeated several asuras, including Surapadman. He was the most terrifying of all. Praising him thus, the poet Nakkeerar says, how much ever he tries to, he is still not satisfied with the praises bestowed upon his Lord. He says that he will feel total bliss only after reaching the Lord's abode, which is the birthplace of all wisdom. குறித்தது மொழியா அளவியர் குறித்துடன் வேறுபல் உருவிற் குறும்பல் கூளியர் சாரையர் களத்து வீறு பெற்றோன்றி அழியன்றானே முதுவாய் இரவலன் வந்தோன் பெருமனின் வண்புகழ் நயந்தென. Those that predict your presence just right, the devoted dwarfish couriers, throw such grandiose festive for you, saying, Your Majesty, we have come to seek your grace. Us nocturnal beings, thus claim they. The poet describes how one of the tribes in Kurunji prays to Lord Muruga. He talks about the Coolier clan or the dwarf people who lived on hills. The tribe was known as bandits or cannibals. But Nakkeerar disproves the myth. He states that they were simply away from ordinary people and had their own life. The Cooliers were extremely devoted to Lord Muruga and they addressed him as their king, their ruler, and they grandly celebrated the Lord's presence. இனியவும் நல்லவும் நனிபல ஏத்தி தெய்வஞ் சான்ற திரள் விளங்குருவின் வான்றோய் நிவப்பிற் ரான்வந்தேதி அணங்குஷால் உயர்நிலை தளீர் பண்டைத்தன் மணங்கமழ் தெய்வத் தில நலங்காட்டி அஞ்சல் ஓம்பு மதி அறிவனின் வரவென அன்புடை நன்மொழி அளையி விளைவின் அருள்நிற முன்னீர் வளைய உலகத் தொருணி யாகத் தோன்ற விழுமிய பெறநலும் பரிசில் நல்குமதி பலவுடன். Sweetest and best of words they bestow, godly stature and energy stored, colossal form did he present to them, full of reverence and godliness. Glowing youth and fragrant form shone. Fear not, my dears, for I am aware you have come. Told he those soothing words that never fade. For you glow the brightest in the dark sea. You be unmatched with fame, granted he, them with treasured gifts many. The courtiers sang such sweet praises to the Lord that he immediately showed himself in his huge form. The very presence of the Lord made them very happy, and the Lord also granted them several gifts and a vow to protect them always. Veru pakrugilin nudangi agil sumandara முழுமுதல் உருட்டி வேரற் பூடை அலங்குசினை புலம்பு வேர் கீண்டு விண்பொரு நெடுவரை பரிதியிற் தொடுத்த தண்கமழ் அலர் இறால் சிதைய நன்பல அரசினி முதுசுளை கலாவ மீமிசை நாக நறுமலர் உதிர யுகமொடு மாமுக முசுக்கலை பணிப்ப பூணுதல் இரும்பிடி குளிர்ப்ப வீசிப் பெருங்களிற்று முத்துடை வான்கோடு தளியித் தத்துற்று நன்பொன் மணி நிறங்கிளர பொன்கொழியா வாழை முழுதல் துமிய தாளை இளநீர் விளக்குலை உதிரத்தாக்கி கரிக்கொடி கருந்துணர் சாயப் பொறிப்புற மடநடை மஞ்ஞை பலவுடன் ஓ இக்கோழி வயப்பெடை இரியக் கெழவோ ஓடிரும் பனை வெளிற்றின் புன்சாய் அன்னகுரு உமை அரியாக்கை குடாவடி உளியம் பெருங்கல் விடரலை செரிய கருங்கோட்டாமோ நல்லெரு சிலைப்பச் சேனின் றிழுமென இழிதரும் அருவி பழமுதிர்ச்சோலை மலைக்கிழவோனே. Painted with such sweet-scented cascade that drips up and brings down trees turvy, bamboos uprooted from their grainy flowers, dismembering hives on those tallest peaks, mixing sweetness in the crashing waters from ripened jackfruits borne by trees atop, perfume blooms scattering along, chilling those grey languors down their spines with coldest air, droplets like crystals scattered on, as the she-elephant shakes off bringing down fallen tusks studded with pearls, polishing gems and stones in the path. Bananas and coconuts flinged away, peppers strewn frightening peacocks and fowls. Hens and boars take flight, along with rugged furred bears which wander. Sent back to their deep, dark caves, bulls bawl, those with huge horns heave screams as waters crash down the evergreen thick jungles of Palamudircholai, where he abodes as we hail him. The final stanzas of the great poem describe the fertile hill named Palamudircholai. The hill has a grand waterfall, and it falls from a great height that no one can measure. The force of the river atop is so much that it uproots all the trees in its path. The waterfall is so forceful that it tears the beehives on the hilltop and sends them down along the waters. Thus, the waters are sweetened by the honey from the hives and by the fruits uprooted from the trees. The strong waterfall even brings down fallen tusks of elephants. The droplets of water fall on them like rain and send them shivering. The elephants, monkeys, wild bulls, and bears living on the hill hurry out of the waterfall's path. It also rips out pepper creepers, banana plantains, and even coconut trees. The small creatures like peacocks, hens, and wild pigs hide inside dark caves. The cascading waterfall makes a sound as if it is asking all the animals to pull down the heavy waters. Thus, the hill of Palamudircholai is always green and lush, making it a perfect abode for Lord Muruga. Now we are going to deal with an addition to Thirumurugaatrupadai, which is called Naerisaivenba, Metrical Rhymed Verse. Naerisaivenba means rhyming verse, and this type of poetry, the first words of a pair of sentences or lines would rhyme. And in the translation that I've attempted, I've tried to follow the same pattern. Kundram erindai, kurekkadarit soortadindai, punralai பூதப் பொருப்படையாய் என்றும் இழையாய் அழகியாய் ஏறுந்தான் ஏரே உளையாய் என் உள்ளத்துறை. Through your veil to slay Kraunjan and Suran, crew that carries your orders to dot, ever young and beauty, incarnate son of Lord Shiva, forever I need your presence in my humble heart. The first stanza talks about Lord Muruga's great attack on Kraunjan and Surapadman. He has a highly devoted set of warriors who do as per his instructions. And being born out of the flames from Lord Shiva's third eye, Lord Muruga is always young and charismatic, like the fire itself. The poet requests that the Lord resides in him always. Kundram erindavum, kundrappor seidavum, andrang kamararadir, தீர்த்தவும் இன்றென்னை கைவிடா நின்றதுவங் கற்போதும் கற்பித்து காத்தவும் மெய்விடா வீரன் கைவேல். Hill you split and smashed to smithereens, still you stood by your devotees. Stand by me as I fight my sorrow mounts, manned by your holy veil. The poet requests the Lord to use his veil to remove all his obstacles and troubles, just like how he destroyed the Swamimalai. Veeravel, Tharaivel, Vinnor Sirai Meeta Theeravel, Sevvel, Tirukaivel, Vari Kulithavel, Kotravel, Surmarbum Kundrum Tulaithavel, Unde Tunai. Tenacious and tall veil that is also vivacious and kind that saved the Devas, drenched in victory's cascade that untrenched the Asura axe and guards over me. The veil is so special, energetic, powerful, and tall. On Lord's bidding, the veil saved several sages and Devas from the clutches of evil Asuras. It has several winnings to its credits, and the poet requests the veil to stand guard over him. Innam Murugal ena tidumbai kundrukum, konnavil ver soortadinda kotrava, முன்னம் பணிவே நெடுங்குன்றம் பட்டுருவத் தொட்ட தனிவேலை வாங்கத்தகும். And you please break my hill of grief, like how you slew the Suran's vein, just like how you blasted the snow-clad hillock with your veil. Lo, one simply has to hold it. The poet again requests the Lord to demolish all his sorrows, like how the veil blasted the hill. He also slew the pride of Asuras, and so he says that one simply has to be blessed to touch the veil. The very action of touching the veil would help one out of all troubles. உன்னை ஒளிய ஒருவரையும் நம்புகிலேன், பின்னை ஒருவரை யான் பின் செல்லேன். பன்னிரு கை கோலப்பா வானோர் கொடியவினை தீர்த்தருளும், வேலப்பா செந்தில் வாழ்வே. In none I trust but only you, wherein only you I follow. Delightful 12 arms you do possess, dutiful Devas you did rescue, O resident of Tiruparankundram. The poet expresses devotion, stating he trusts only in Lord and nobody else. He follows his instructions, just like how he rescued the Devas with his 12 arms. The poet requests that he be saved too. Anju muhan thondril ஆறு முகன் தோன்றும், வெஞ்சமரில் அஞ்சலென வேல் தோன்றும், நெஞ்சில் ஒரு கால் நினைக்கின் இரு காலும் தோன்றும், முருகா என்றோதுவர் முன். Qualms full face remembers his 6 faces, calms restore his veil even amidst a battlefield. Once thought of, twice appears the Lord, once bestowed on he who reveres. Whenever devotees face horrifying troubles, his 6 faces would appear to save them. This veil is brave that it can win any battle and keep them safe if devotees call out his name just once. The Lord appears time and again even without their calling him. Murugane sendil mudalvane mayon, Murugane ஈசன் மகனே, ஒரு கை முகன் தம்பியே நின்னுடைய தண்டைக்கால் எப்பொழுதும் நம்பியே கை தொழுவேன் நான். Mayadhara, Lord of Chendur, Madhava's nephew, son of the three-eyed, littlest brother of Ainkara, your anklets-worn feet I pray and trust. He who is in the form of eternal beauty, the nephew of Lord Vishnu, son of Lord Shiva, little brother of Lord Ganesha, is prayed by all to reach his holy feet finally. Kakakadavaya, நீ காவா திருந்தக்கால் ஆர்க்கு பரமாம் அருமுகவா பூக்கும் கடம்பா முருகா கதிர்வேலா நல்ல இடங்கா நிறங்காயினே. Committed to protect me, if not for you, quitted will I be as the burdensome to who? Beautiful Lord garlanded with kadambam flowers, duty calls you now, for it is the right time. The poet says that if Lord does not heed his prayers, his whole life will become a burden. So he calls Lord Muruga to fulfill his duty of protecting loving devotees. பரங்குன்றிற் பன்னிருக்கை கோமான்றன் பாதம் கரங்கூப்பிக் கண்குளிர கண்டு சுருங்காமல் ஆசையால் நெஞ்சே அணி முருகாற்றுப்படையை பூசையாய் கொண்டே புகழ். They at Kundram beseech the 12-armed Lord, pray with palms clasped and heart content. Mind sings the Thirumurugaatrupadai to find eternal salvation. In every abode of Lord Muruga, the Thirumurugaatrupadai is sung continuously. Devotees pray reverently to their heart's content, and the poet says that this is the only way to achieve salvation. Nakkeerar தாமுரைத்த நன்முருகாற்றுப்படையை தற்கோல நாள்தோறும் சாற்றினால் முற்கோல மாமுருகன் வந்து மனக்கவலை தீர்த்தருளி தான் நினைத்ததெல்லாம் தரும். Those who sing Nakkeerar's Thirumurugaatrupadai every day are bestowed with protection undefined by the Lord himself, who hurries to them and grants them all their wishes fulfilled. The poet promises that everyone who sings Thirumurugaatrupadai written by Nakkeerar would be protected from all the evils and troubles. To such people, the Lord would hurry in to aid and grant whatever they wish for. Tiruchendur is the way in which devotees of Lord Shiva greet each other. Glory to the Lord of Space who vested wisdom in me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Keep supporting.